Hello and welcome to episode number 10 of the Gronch Music Podcast, the podcast that runs on batteries and dies when they run out. My name is Lance, and as always, I'm joined by two of my closest friends in the world. First up, his least favorite movie in the world is American Pie because he likes to stick his dick in pies. It's the fan favorite, Lucas the Milk Elemental. Lucas, how are you doing?
That is not true. My least favorite movie is Tower Heist for a reason that I will not disclose yet on this podcast.
I thought you liked Tower Heist.
It's a little bit of a Stockholm Syndrome effect.
It's a love-hate.
Yeah.
Okay, next up, he wants the world to know that he supports all the recently Me Too Smash players. It's Matthew /Ross the Garlic Lord. How are you doing, Matthew?
So, wait, what?
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 Oh no, I've heard about him talk about this in private.
He likes defending them. Hungry Box, Zach, all of them, dude.
Yeah, Zero.
Anyway,
How
boys.
about Zero? Anywho.
This week we listened to Raised by Wolves EP by Voxtrot. Matthew, how did you like this album?
Well, you asked me that last week, sir.
I don't alternate every time. I just pick whoever's I think the favorite, you know, or not the favorite.
Okay.
Whoever would have the more interesting take.
Okay, I thought I was alternating.
Though actually, I should have probably started with Lucas. Let's go with Lucas this time. Lucas,
Okay.
How did you feel about this album?
Well, unlike me in this podcast, I feel like that the common impression of this album will be very, very high. People will definitely understand the quality that they're getting with this album. It's really fucking good.
Yeah.
I like it a lot, dude.
I
think it's
also like
probably the best thing we've reviewed yet, I would say.
You like it more than the Slint album?
Yeah, those are definitely the top two for me. But it's hard, dude. I mean, I think like, you know, if we're talking about like from an Olympics perspective, I'd say, you know, I gave that like a 9, but you guys were throwing around like 6 to 8, and I think this is going to be way higher.
6 to 9s.
I think from an Olympic perspective, this is going to be much better.
How about you, Matthew? General opinions.
So I have like a kind of a complicated relationship with indie rock.
Mm-hmm.
I think after a while of listening to it, I got really bored of it. I almost like cannot listen to it now because just it all feels the same. And because of that, and because you were putting high expectations on this album before and recording this podcast, my brain subconsciously really wanted to hate this album. Really wanted to hate this album. And it's so hard to do that. It's, every song, like the instrumentals, the lyrics, it all hits pretty well.
I'm glad to hear that because my goal for this episode was to bowl the first ever perfect Ross, and we'll see what happens later as we go through.
Kind of lukewarm for a perfect Ross.
Yeah, I'm not. I've tempered expectations at the moment.
Might be in for a rough one.
Yeah.
Might be in for a 3 out of 4. Yet another reason why we need more numbers.
This is possibly true. So let's start by going through the first song of the album, Raised by Wolves. Synonymous, or what is it called? What's the word where it's like the same name?
The title track?
The title track, sure.
The eponymous?
Eponymous, yeah.
Eponymous.
That's it. How'd you guys feel about this song?
I really like this song. This is it's either my favorite song or one of my favorite songs on this album. I'll say that right now.
Agreed.
I think it's very good, dude.
It's a high quality one for sure.
It kind of has like a bunch of different phases, you know. All the lyrics are extremely good. All the instrumentals are extremely good. It all flows very well. I don't know, dude. It's just a great song.
The intro to the song, it really sounds like "I'll Be Back Again" by the Beatles. I don't know if you guys caught that. I noticed it on my first listen, and I couldn't get it out of my head. It sounds like almost like a straight rip. It's a little bit, I don't know. It's a little bit strange, but I like the song overall.
What I will say is the vibes I was getting from this first track, similar to, so one of my favorite bands currently at the moment is the Fleet Foxes, and some of their earlier material sounds eerily the same. I think they're both released in the same era, so I guess it kind of makes sense. And so I really enjoyed that. Felt a bit jazzy at times.
Yeah, the song definitely, it has like a groove to it.
Yeah, and the chorus is definitely a very high point for me on this song. I really like the "I will never
I'm
live
more,
like you."
I'm more a fan of the bridge, personally.
I like the melody. Forehead.
It's all good. it's hard to say. It's just all good.
I feel like the song is almost like multiple songs stitched together. It has like a lot of changes in it that are like pretty,
Yeah,
pretty like substantial.
it's like a Bohemian Rhapsody kind of deal, you know? It's like a whole narrative.
hmm
And
it
it
swaps
ends quite
between
nicely.
it swaps between them like constantly. It starts like A pattern, B pattern, C pattern, A, B, C kind of. I like
I
it.
like it, dude.
Then we go into the start of something. Now this is the song I listened to before we did this review because I saw it on like Spotify.
Yeah, it's the popular song, right?
Yeah, I saw that. It had like way more listens than any other song.
Yeah,
So
it's probably like on some playlists or something. That's why. Would be my
probably.
guess. This has really the Smiths vibe to it. I think that's probably why it got recommended to me.
That's a good comparison. I would actually agree.
Yeah. It's almost like the singer is surprisingly not British, even though in this song he sounds very British.
Yeah,
It
that
does
sounds
sound like that.
extremely British in this song.
Surprisingly, despite the popularity, I wasn't like super head over heels on this one. Like it was good, but I felt like it's not like my end all be all favorite on this album.
I mean, I really like it.
I also really like it.
I really like every song on this album, to be honest.
Yeah, no songs are bad on this album. I think I'll preface that.
I think
They're all
the
good.
start of something has the best lyrics, in my opinion.
It's
And the
very
best
dense.
rhyming.
There's a lot of good shit. There's a lot of really good descriptive stuff in here.
Yeah, it's kind of just like a smooth listen, you know?
A lot of reading material, and he changes his he doesn't change his vocals, but the what do you call? I guess the mic,
The lo-fi mic.
the lo-fi distortion sort of
Yeah.
thing he has on there, which is interesting use there, which I quite like. But yeah,
It also has like the lag on the last word of every sentence. Kind of like I like that too. It goes well with the rhyming.
yeah. He also has these little I don't know what to call them, like a couple of word sort of I don't know what to call them, but I think it's before every chorus or little bridges. Like you can see there's the won't you ellipsis, no I don't care if ellipsis, remember I heard you ellipsis. I don't know what to call that, but I do quite like the
It's like a
effect.
fragmentation of a sentence.
Kind of, yeah, almost like a trailing thought.
Yeah.
I think we got to talk about the audio mixing of this band on this album. I really like it, dude. I think like they're really heavy on the bass. The bass is like really loud, and I really like that, dude. I'm a fan.
I think so. I think once we go into the next one, I can start producing a couple more thoughts on the album as a whole. Right now, when I was first listening to this, I was just kind of still trying to feel everything out. So I can't really. Yeah,
I've been vibing to this album for like a week, dude.
I'm in a similar boat, yeah.
Right after we talked about it, and I just I've been slamming this shit. I love this fucking album, dude.
I feel like the first two songs are very high quality.
I agree, dude. I think my favorite, or I don't want to spoil it, but there's another song that I really, really like.
So then we go into Missing Pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Matthew has something to say about this song?
Yeah, so Missing Pieces. This is where I kind of the sound kind of transitioned to me, or for me at least. It kind of sounded like when I played like NHL 2K or like NBA 2K. It sounds like a like soundtrack.
Same, bro.
It sounds like soundtrack off off those video games. It's like when they just like rip an indie song and they just put it on. It just sounds like that. It just sounds like that. And
can you confirm? Do you have knowledge of this subject?
I don't know. I can't say I've ever played NBA 2K. I don't think.
Okay.
I played NBA 07. I don't remember the song in there.
No. Like it's not from it. I'm just saying
it
sounds like
I know
it's from the.
Although I think isn't this album from like 2004? It could have been in NBA 2007.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's on one of those. So
I really doubt it is though.
It might be, dude. You never know. What if it is?
probably isn't.
So for
It's
this
probably,
song,
if it. Oh, sorry.
I
What?
feel like I agree a little bit with Matthew. I feel like the quality dips a bit between the second and third songs. I don't know if you feel the same, Lucas.
This would this. I think it's a weak point on the album. On the curve, it's on like the lower half of the curve.
Yeah.
Still good though. Still pretty darn good.
I think
would say.
it's pretty good. It has good elements. It's just not tied together very well compared to the
Yeah.
rest of the other songs.
I think I
It's a
think
fair
I
criticism.
will agree.
It's missing the bow, the package and the bow.
It's missing the bow
True.
Yeah.
and the little card on top.
Mm-hmm.
I think I agree with how this is a bit of the trough of the album. I'm not too sure why, but towards the middle I got somewhat, I guess you can say, bored. Not bored that I was like, oh god, I hate the song. Just more like, it's a nice song, but I kind of like drift away.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really pay attention to it that much because it's nice sounding. I will admit that, but I just kind of like almost don't really pay attention to the lyrics or care about the lyrical content. So everything I see here is just like
Ross ghosted this song. That's what he's trying to get at.
Ghosted, toasted, and burnt to a crisp.
pretty much.
I think
Um,
it starts really strong. I think in general musically it's a good song, but the lyrics are a bit weak at the start, and I think it ramps up from there. It gets like exponentially better.
I was trying to search for lyrics, and did they like cut out a chunk of it at all?
I don't know.
Anyone else
I
find
didn't look
that?
up the Genius.
Okay, because I did, and there's like in the beginning a whole like paragraph that just got cut from it. I got very confused. I had to repeat like twice because I thought like I was like going through an episode or something. I don't know.
You should be the one that fixes it.
Maybe
There has to be
Yeah.
someone. You know that guy that writes like 60% of the Wikipedia articles? That could be you.
Yeah, it's 60% of the Genius article. I'll go back to the James Blake. I'll put I don't know.
So then we
Yeah,
move
I
on
don't
to Long Haul, fourth song of the album.
Okay. This is the song I was talking about. I really like this song.
Really?
I'm a big fan of this song.
That doesn't really surprise me that much, actually. It kind of is similar to some songs we listen to. So that kind of makes sense. I feel like it's Go ahead.
Yeah, I really vibe with the instrumental on this song, dude. It's like it's a very kind of chill, slow tempo, but like kind of electric in the sense of like it has a lot of different instrumentals that kind of weave in and out. It just has a very nice sound, dude. It's very pleasant to listen to.
Yeah, this song isn't gonna ruffle any feathers, I don't think. I think it'd be hard to not like this song. I think it's like pretty tame. Not really non-offensive, I think would be the best word to describe it.
Mm-hmm.
I think so, dude. I think it's like it's just a fucking shot of morphine right into your vein. So that's how I feel about this song.
I think it's a little bit simple for my taste, just a little bit.
That's fine, dude. I love songs like that. I love like simple, repetitive songs with good instrumentals.
Yeah. Any closing
That's my
thoughts
jam,
on this
dude.
song?
Ross, you got anything to say?
I think I agree mainly with Lance on this one. It's good, but yeah, with this song and somewhat in some cases like the album in general, it does feel very. That's what I was trying to think of. Like, is there a problem where like I don't know. It like nothing is that offensive or something I really hate to listen to. Is that how much of it is a problem on an album, or like I can't really describe it because it's like you want to listen to something that you find nice, right?
Are you saying it's a bit
But-
stale? Is that what you're going for?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I don't think I agree with you. I feel like the first two songs and maybe the last
No,
song that we're getting to,
yeah,
I think they're
The
pretty
beginning is fine.
interesting in my opinion.
Yeah, first two are fine. It's just towards the middle that's where I kind of felt like
Yeah,
I
I think
don't
that's a fine critique of like missing pieces in Long Haul.
Yeah.
They're a little bit plain. But then we go into Wrecking Force. I think it returns to the original quality of the first two songs, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I think Wrecking Force and Raised by Wolves are probably the highest peaks for me on the album. It's a really good opener and a really good closing song. I really quite like the. I think there's a violin or strings instrument usage towards the end you can hear, which is really interesting and nice. I don't think I've heard something like that before. So
I think that's kind of common on some indie rock stuff.
Yeah, I've heard that motif before, but I think in general the instrumentals are also really good on this album. I like the guitar. I think it's really like I'd compare it to the Pixies a little bit. I think the guitar is just good. It's like good kind of Pixies, The Strokes sounding alt rock guitar. I like
Lucas, you probably would know this better than I do. Sorry, I'm like still kind of stuck on the violin thing. Is there any song you think I would know that has that? Because I was also thinking like there's probably other songs like this, but I can't think of any.
How about like Bittersweet Symphony or something like that? Isn't that like a rock group that made that song?
Oh yeah, I guess that would count. That's a very good song.
I get really big. Some parts of the song the album remind me of The Killers a little bit. I can't remember what exactly, but I definitely got like some vibes of like some more modern.
I can hear that. Yeah,
I can hear that too.
I can understand that.
But that's about it for this album, boys.
Yeah.
I think it's just good, dude. It's a fucking good one.
I think it's a well-rounded, good indie rock album. It's probably also my favorite album we listened to so far. ICP is a close second.
Of course.
Only half joking.
ICP is a close second.
But Matthew, is it time to move on to the Rossometer?
If you dare. Okay.
Here we go. I wonder what it'll be.
All right. So let's clean up some thoughts here. So yeah, again, yeah, I really wanted to hate this album, and then when I started hearing it, I'm like, oh god, I really do not want to give this a full Ross out of Ross. But I try to critique it. I try to look at it. I'm like, okay, so the middle pieces of this album and the missing pieces of this album. Yeah, it does feel kind of stale, inoffensive, in some cases forgettable, but then I kind of go back and I listen to it again. I'm like, damn, why did I forget this song? It's actually pretty good instrumentally, and even the lyrics aren't that too bad. So, and then I also think to myself, do I want to listen to this thing again? And I'm like, yeah, I probably would. So, for the first time,
say it.
For the first time in this podcast, I'm giving it a full Ross out of Ross.
Fuck yeah! God. Woo!
He did it.
I
didn't think he would actually do it.
I bowled a perfect Ross, boys. That's the new term, bowling a perfect Ross. I'm glad. I'm very happy.
I think it's very good, and even the parts where I want to hate, I can't. And I can't. And I would probably put it on repeat. I'll put it on a playlist. I'll listen to a car and on a road trip. Yeah, it's great.
Now I can return to suggesting meme albums for the rest of my life.
Hell yeah!
Actually, the next album I picked up, not that it's my turn next, but I think it's very. I'm anticipating this album probably more than anything else.
Oh no!
we got a 4. We need a 0.
Ooh,
that's what I want.
Hobo Johnson was the closest, honestly. Very
poor
very
Hobo Johnson.
I respect it. That's the only thing that I didn't give it a 0. That I can respect it.
How about for the meme archetype of this album?
That's a weird one. I almost want to give it like a bloomer in some sense, but
I also found it pretty hard because I think this is such a middle of the road album. It doesn't really stick out in any direction.
Can we give this like a because this is more of like a boomer in some sense?
I was saying this is a true neutral.
Oh god!
If you're thinking of like the D&D, like chaotic evil stuff,
we can definitely do that.
Are we just gonna have like a playlist of just like literally we can't figure anything out with this, so we're just gonna put it in the
true neutral? Yeah, I think that's a good album type.
Okay.
The true neutral album, first of its kind. Now, Lucas, as we move on to the next segment, do you have any ad reads? Do we have an ad read this week?
Oh boy, do we? Today's sponsor is Dr. Cletus's Discount Fetus Emporium. Dr. Cletus received his doctorate in a Prussian university and Prussian hospital, both of which have been mortar shelled to complete destruction, and as such cannot serve as references to his degrees or credentials. Nevertheless, this must be said, the man gives the best pound-for-pound deal on off-the-books fetuses you could possibly find. It's absurdly cheap. Use promo code Gronch for a 1-month subscription of Dr. Cletus's Fetus Net, a service that ships fetuses to your door. This is a limited time offer. This is very high quality shit, boys. You gotta jump on this while it's hot.
It's really good, dude. I like that.
Oh my god. There's a lot of work put into that, I could tell.
That's like Eric Hartman when he like finds that shipment of fetuses and he starts selling them. You're breaking my balls. I got a prime shipment of shrimp for you. $5 a barrel. Okay, Lucas. Have you picked next week's album for us?
Oh man, it's hard, dude. There's a lot of good shit. There's a lot of bad shit.
Mm-hmm.
But
many options to choose from, bad or good.
I think what we're doing is The Fragile by 9 Inch Nails.
Ooh. I like that because I was gonna listen to some 9 Inch Nails a few months ago.
Mm-hmm. I've been listening to some 9 Inch Nails. They've got some good shit, dude.
All I know of them is that their name is on the ammo boxes from Quake. It's like the N and the backward
metal,
N.
Dude. I didn't know that. It's
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
The only thing I know about them is that I feel like there's a bunch of songs they have that are just like ripped by other artists.
You're thinking of Hurt, and that's the only one.
Is it? Oh, I thought there's another one. All right, never mind.
No, there's no others.
My sweetest friend.
Is Hurt on this album?
No. I don't
Damn
believe
it.
so.
Damn it.
That's already -1 letter in Ross's name.
Actually, yeah, that actually is already -1.
One step
That's all I
closer to
can't
zero,
say.
boys. It's good.
The 0. Does this have the chance to be a 0?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
It's pretty good shit, but
Okay.
anything could be possible.
Okay, Lucas. Is that a heavy Lucas episode? Are you ready for your question?
Yeah, bro. Hit me.
Have you ever seen a man cross his arms and jump at the same time?
I've watched a man die.
Yeah. Sure you have. I was trying to think of like places I may have seen a man cross his arms and jump at the same time. The first one I thought of was like the Russian kick dancing, where they go like the Slav squat and they kick. But I wouldn't really call that jumping. That's more like a dance.
I think you've got me.
And I was also thinking of like high jumping, where in the Olympics, where they like jump over a pole that's really high.
I was
But
thinking like
I watched-
gymnastics.
Yeah, I watched
diving
some.
board.
I watched some videos, and they didn't cross their arms.
I think you got me on a technicality. I think I've probably done it in the mirror alone in my room, but alas, I was not a man. I was a boy at that time. I don't think I've done that as a man.
I've also
Have you
done
been
it,
to-
but only because I thought that I've never seen it before.
Lucas, have you ever been to any of the following: gymnastics, diving board place, or a figure skating competition?
Do they do that though? Because it's
I think so.
specifically a man, not a woman.
Oh, yeah.
First
yeah.
of all,
Yes, figure skating definitely. Diving board, I feel like they do that, but I could be wrong. Gymnastics, I feel like they also definitely do that, but I also could be wrong. But I feel like I've seen it before.
you could be
On
wrong
TV.
about everything, and I wouldn't know either. So
True, I could be making all up.
yeah, Neil Armstrong crossed his arms and jumped on the moon.
The circus. Ooh, true.
That is a verified fact.
The circus?
I don't know, dude. I'm just thinking of places where people would cross their arms and jump.
Are the carnies
like-
doing sweet tricks behind my back?
It could be. It could be.
I hope not. That's kind of scary. Anyways, boys, that's the end of episode 10 of the Gronch Music Podcast. We made it.
Woo!
A decade of
Tell me,
podcasts.
Boys.
What do
We
you say,
are
Lucas?
more than halfway to legal.
That's true.
All right.
Well, I think
Chardonnay-
Matthew might say otherwise, but
Whoa.
Well, he's never really cared about the rules.
yeah, he goes his own way.
Yeah.
And that's
I
it.
don't know if I like this anymore.
Yeah, I think we should probably shy away from this aspect of the podcast.
Monetize now.
We gotta fucking Me Too Ross while we can.
I'm just scared of.
early on.
I don't want to damage Matthew's reputation for the rest of his life. You know, I'm not really
I
into
kinda
that.
do though.
They can't know that all of us play Smash, so.
I don't. That's it for the podcast, boys. Goodbye.
See ya.
And anywhere you go, you know the ugliness will follow you still.